This episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast is brought to you by readingwithyourkids.com/dreams. readingwithyourkids.com/dreams. Hey, have you ever dreamed of having more time with your family? Having greater financial security, sharing your passion for books and literacy, maybe building an amazing home library? What about traveling the world or helping others reach their dreams? You know, thousands have discovered life-changing opportunities with Usborne Books and more. It's more than just a career. These people find a close network of friends who encourage them to reach for their dreams, and they cheer one another on when they achieve them. Now, whether you're looking for a career with a potential six-figure income, or you're just looking to add a few $100s a month to your family with just a few hours of work each week, Usborne Books and More has an exciting opportunity for you to make a difference in the lives of children all around the world. There's a world of possibilities awaiting you. Please visit readingwithyourkids.com/dreams.
Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, bonjour, assalamu alaikum, shalom, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We are so very, very proud that you have helped make our show an iTunes #1 kids and family podcast. And we are so very, very proud to bring you fantastic guests like today's guest. Her name is Allexia Brewer, and she has written a great book called Monadiki, the Goddess of Fierce Leadership. Hey, for all the authors that are listening out there, I wanted to share with you this great email that we received here at the Reading with Your Kids podcast from Dr. Linda Mubarak. She is a past guest and the author of Maxine's New Job. Here's the email. Dear Fatima and Jed, good news! Maxine's New Job has been nominated to receive the prestigious Henri Award at the 2018 Christian Literacy Awards for Outstanding Literacy Work in the Children's Book Division. I sincerely believe your certifying Maxine as a great read helped bring increased social media attention to the book. Thank you for the exposure and the great marketing. We are so happy for Dr. Linda Mubarak that her book, Reading with Your Kids Certified Great Read, Maxine's New Job, received this prestigious recognition. We would love to help your book receive that same kind of recognition. If you are interested in having your book considered for our Reading with Your Kids Certified Great Read program, please visit our website, readingwithyourkids.com. You can click on the contact button, send us a note, and we'll send all the information back to you, or you can go right to our Certified Great Read page on our website. It's fun, it's easy, and it is really an effective way to let the world know that your book stands out above all the rest. The Reading with Your Kids Certified Great Read program. Joining us right now from Blooming Rock in North Carolina. She is a fierce woman. We're so excited to have her here, and she is the author of a great new book. It's Monadiki, the Goddess of Fierce Leadership. Please welcome to the show, Allexia Brewer. Allexia, how are you?
Hi, Jed. You did so well with the name. The Greeks will be so proud of you.
I love the Greeks and the Spanish and the Russians and everybody to love me. I'm very happy about that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So happy to be here.
So, Monadiki, the Goddess of Fierce Leadership. Tell us a little bit about her.
Well, she is 13 years old. The book is set actually with a little bit of a Greek mythology theme, but not really. She's a leader. She is walking the walk of leadership. She is an everyday girl in many senses of the word. You know, some people think that I'm creating superheroes, and I got challenged on that recently. She's not a superhero. She's just a girl. Uh-huh. She is not without difficulties and challenges in her life, but really her role as the heroine of this series, and the second book is at the publisher now, is to show girls how to lead despite it all, and what exactly that means for each person, which I think is a really big goal that we have to redefine leadership. And so that begins the story.
That, you know, you just tapped on something, because I had another question set up, but you just hit on something that really kind of sparked some neurons, firing in my brain. Talk about that. What you just said. What leadership means for everybody has a different kind of role in being a leader.
A vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that when I talk to women, mothers, grandmothers, we seem to collectively, and I think this is in a society, see leaders as people that are heading up marches, and they're running for president, and they're the PTA president, and they're, protesting global warming, and they're standing up, fighting for the whales. And while all of that is leadership, it sort of leaves out the rest of us who might be quietly leading in our homes, in our communities, with our children. There's so many layers. And so I think, and what I hear mostly is that feminine leadership is really being called upon now. So that little space between, this is how I gave somebody an analogy, the space between the crown and the shield is where the feminine leader lives. And it really is about honoring yourself, making decisions that honor you, standing up for yourself, having good boundaries, how to deal with life in a way that honors you. Anybody can lead. Anybody can lead. And I think we need to change that conversation and start really embracing this new definition.
I love that. I really do love that. I had an interesting conversation with my son last night, not directly about this topic, but I think it's really important for us to really understand for ourselves and also help our kids understand that there are many different ways to lead, and you don't need to be a leader of a battalion or a country. Being the leader of you is really important, and understand where you want to go in leading yourself and making choices for yourself and for your own life, choices that are true to you and that make you feel good, and not bending your way and just following the masses. Being, first and foremost, being a leader of your own life and standing up for your principles. That's so very important for kids.
It is very important. And when we do that and we honor ourselves, we're more confident. We're happier. We're going to be able to contribute to society in a more productive way. We feel good about our decisions. We take our natural born gifts and we can apply them to do powerful things in the world. What I think we've done is we look at leadership in a certain way, and then the rest of us who are not doing it that way think, oh, well, I'm not a leader, so I'm not going to be able to do anything, or, that's not me. No, there's a huge amount of us, more of us than those people that need to understand we are leaders, and we can make a difference, and we can lead, and it's really important that we redefine that.
Yeah. Yesterday was such a crazy, beautiful, wonderful day for me. In addition to spending time with my son, who's now an adult, and we're helping him move to his new place in a new state, I also had I spent 2 hours chasing my 14-year-old foster niece around a skating rink, playing tag with her, and we just had this rink to ourselves, and it was amazing. And I'm like, I'm too old to be doing this, but we're having a conversation, and one of the things she asked me, she goes, why, you were a social worker, why did you leave that? And I was telling her that, I get into it at a very young age, and was probably I wasn't mature enough to understand my role. And I went into being a social worker thinking I was going to change the world. And when I wasn't changing the world, I didn't recognize the fact that I was really changing a lot of people's individual worlds. And I wasn't mature enough to understand at that time that was really important. And it's probably even more important and more realistic than to try to change the whole world.
But again, because of the definition that we've been taught, you would think that. It's not abnormal to think or right, well, I'm not doing such and such, so then, maybe what I'm doing, changing 3 people's lives, that really doesn't qualify as being a leader. And this is what I want to change. If we change one person's life, if we change ourselves, we are leading.
Yeah.
If we change ourselves, because by the laws of the universe, we change ourselves, others will change too. We are leading.
Absolutely, yeah. One of the things that I've been, Allexia and I were speaking before the show, and I was explaining to her that I do educational magic shows that you people have heard me say too many times. But, one of the revelations that I had in my show in 2003, schools were asking me to create a show that dealt with bullying. And so I looked at the research and, came up with shows and was don't be a bully and ask a teacher for help. And for a couple of years, I forgot the fact that the most effective way to create a bully-free school is by helping the kids in the middle, the kids who aren't being bullies, the kids who aren't being targeted, that they can make a difference in the world by being a leader and standing up and saying something when they see somebody being hurt, or inviting people to join them when they see somebody being excluded.
Wow, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Again, we develop our confidence, we honor ourselves. We're not, I've posted about this often. We as adults are not in those classrooms, so we are depending on the leaders of themselves to right the wrongs and to stand up for the wrong and to be the protectors and the guardians. So the more that they feel confident and honored and not so worried about what other people think, part of it is normal development, human development, but the more we can empower them and understand that you do have a power within you right now. Not when you're 40, not when you're 50, but when you're 10, 9, 8, 11, 12. Now to really make a difference, well, then we're going to have a lot more. I think it's going to change the world, really. It's going to change the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just the whole idea, if we can communicate to our kids that they matter, that their decisions matter, that their lives matter, and helping our kids to live more intentionally.
When I have a large business following, a lot of women entrepreneurs. And when I start to talk to them a lot about what they were like as a little girl, overwhelmingly what I hear is, I was not validated. I wasn't validated. So these types of conversations, again, we need to crack these conversations open, and parents need to start and continue. Many are doing a great job. Some forget. Sometimes we're busy, all of these things. But validating the power that they already have right now. And if we can do that, you're right. It's going to make a huge ripple effect on this planet.
So you were saying that you're coaching and working with these entrepreneurs, and so what was it that motivated you to write a children's book?
Very great question. I've been working with women entrepreneurs for about 4 years online. I have a huge following. Overwhelmingly, I see in grown women a huge lack of leadership skills, and it shows up online through fear of posting, fear of speaking their truth. They don't want to be visible. They don't want to get on camera. They're terrified of judgment, criticism, feedback, lack of response. They're terrified. This is all leadership skills. And so I started to go back again. I would ask them, tell me about your life as a little girl. And some of the things I've heard, women that were told they were meaningless, they were ugly, they were fat, you're stupid, you're never going to amount to anything, out of the lips of women, grown, educated, MBA, professional women who are still carrying all of that stuff with them into their businesses online. And that's where I got to see it. I knew it. I said, this is symptomatic of something else. And I said, I need to go back. Let me go back to the little girls. Let me go back there and let me target them and start opening this conversation. It has brought me back to life, these books, so I know it will do it for others. People already see themselves in the characters. Oh my gosh, that was me. She looks just like I was at that age. I remember when I did so-and-so at that age. Oh, I loved, grungy clothes, or I was real preppy at that age, whatever. And that's the reason I went back. And I said, I want to go back and talk to the little girls. They're more impressionable at that age.
Sure.
Sometimes it's easier. We know that to be true. And that's the reason.
Absolutely. Well, and it's a great reason. And as you're talking, and I know you wrote the books to motivate young girls and little girls, but I can't help think that these would be great books for those entrepreneurs to kind of read and sit back and, okay, the little girl that's still holding all those grudges and all that hurt, why don't you sit down and read this and maybe she can let go of some of that.
I've been asked this a lot, and I broke down each page. Each illustration in my book has a little mini blogette that goes with it, just to expand on some additional thoughts, because in a children's book, as you know, you cannot put it all in there. Mm-hmm. So I have these little mini blogettes, and I talk about mimicry and mockery and fear and judgment and criticism and expectation. All of the books will have sort of centralized themes. And as I was writing, oh my gosh, the floodgates within myself started to just open, and it got very emotional for me. And you're exactly right. This is really a book for anybody. Mm-hmm. Anybody that wants to reconnect with that leader within them, whether you're 92 or 12, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. There is something there for everybody.
What do you think about the idea of, the Reading with Your Kids podcast? We're all about inspiring parents to read with their kids. And of course, my 3-year-old, my 4-year-old on the couch, we snuggle up, we read the picture books together. But I'm thinking Monadiki would be a great book for parents to co-read with their kids, especially those moms or aunts, grandmothers who are holding on to some of that,
yes,
that old baggage, sitting down together and kind of talking about this and sharing their experiences and helping their kids understand, wow, when I was growing up I was growing up in the 50s and 60s, but, I was growing up in the 70s and the 80s, I couldn't do this because I was a girl, or I was told I couldn't do this when I was a girl. And you're still facing some of that, but things are much better for you now, or are they, or what can we, it's just...
Totally. And this is what I'm hearing from my business community. Mm-hmm. These books are for us too. Mm-hmm. These books are for us too. And let's expand the conversations, and let's talk about what's going on in the book with her. Might be beautifully illustrated, but there's a lot of depth there. Mm-hmm. You can really go deep, and it can be tailored to any age. Mm-hmm. It can be tailored to any age, and let's open those conversations. I sort of see leadership. I was telling somebody yesterday, like, those Cadbury eggs that come out at Easter? Mm-hmm. They have this gorgeous chocolate shell, and in the inside they have this soft, yummy stuff. Mm-hmm. And you have to kind of break through the shell to get into the yummy stuff. That's what I think leadership is. Mm-hmm. I think we need to talk about it. It's appealing. It's sweet. People love it. They go to it. But we got to crack it open to get to that good stuff. And I'm hoping that these books will help people do that.
Okay. Well, I love that you just said that you're hoping that these books will help people do that. We've been talking a lot about girls, but what kind of conversations can dads have with their daughters reading this book, and what kind of conversations can we have with our young guys?
Somebody said to me, you need a monadikos, which is the boy version of Monadiki. And I said, well, I'm really not writing for boys. However, and I have had more mothers come to me recently and say, what about the boys? What about the boys? Anybody can have leadership is something that a man and a dad can bring his perspective of leadership in, because men tend to fall into an easier path of leadership than women do. This is just across the board. And there's a lot, that's a whole nother conversation. But a father can talk. I actually sent the book to a well-known celebrity who is a single dad, and I messaged his assistant, and I said, I'd love to send him the book. So single dads, single moms, fathers, brothers, anybody can really take leadership conversations and expand on fear. Boys have that too. Mimicry, mockery, boys have that too. Bullying, all of it. It's across the board. Fear knows no sex. Leadership knows no sex, no race, no religion. Conversations can expand with any reader at all.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes, I love this. I love the idea of empowering kids to understand who they are and to be leaders, and first and foremost be a leader of your own life and know who your true self is and be true to yourself. The first book is available.
Yes,
Monadiki,
the first book is available on Amazon. The second book is introducing her group.
Okay.
4 new girls are coming into the second book, and that was coming out towards the end of the year. But the first book is available. The first book introduces her and the character and the heroine of the stories to go forward. So I tell everybody, grab the first book. You don't have to, but it's better if you do.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so it is available now on Amazon for sure.
Excellent. And I know folks are going to want it because I mean, I'm just speaking to you. I know folks are going to want to know more about Allexia Brewer and what's going on with you and what's going on with the Monadiki series. So is there a place online? Are there places online where people can connect with you?
I have a group on Facebook called Fierce Women Lead, and that is where I spend a lot of my time. My website is another one, fiercegirlslead.com is another place. You can send me a friend request. I love to connect with people, so I'm always open to doing that, but I'm sort of all over the place. So Fierce Girls Lead is really where, you can find me, and Fierce Women Lead being my Facebook group, another great place.
Excellent, excellent. So the Monadiki, the Goddess of Fierce Leadership, is available today. The second book in the series coming out towards the end of 2018. And what's the timeline? Do you have a number of volumes that you're thinking about?
That's a great question. There is a lot to be thinking about when you release a series. I would like to get book 3 to the publisher first of the year, and then middle of the year, book 4 to go to publishing. With 2 books a year release, that's my goal. I'd love to be able to do it that quickly. We need to get this content out there. So I feel pushed to do that. That's my goal.
Absolutely. Well, we want to encourage everybody to check it out. Connect with Allexia Brewer online at Facebook and at her on her website, fiercegirlslead.com. And absolutely check out the new book, Monadiki, the Goddess of Fierce Leadership. Allexia, I've had such a great time speaking to you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Jed, so much. Such a privilege. I appreciate it.
Please be sure to join us for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be Timothy Young. Timothy Young, you do not want to miss this show. Hey, we just love having guests like Allexia Brewer in to tell us about her exciting book, Monadiki. And we would love to have you come in and tell us about your exciting new book. We know we have lots and lots of authors who listen to the show. Being a guest on the Reading with Your Kids podcast, I mean, you heard how much fun Allexia had. Being a guest on the show, it's fun, it's easy, and it is free. And it gives you an opportunity to tell thousands and thousands and thousands of people all about your great book. Not only will you be telling people about your book here on the podcast, but we'll be blogging about your visit and about your book. We'll be letting the world know about your book through social media to our tens of thousands of social media followers. It really is. You cannot get a better deal than this. Being a guest, like I said, it's fun, it's easy, it's free. All you need to do is visit our website, readingwithyourkids.com. Click on the contact button. Let us know all about your great book. While you're there, why don't you click and subscribe to the show? And hey, how about this? Put your name and become one of our very important families, and you can receive a free digital download of my brand new book, Love That I Matter, a book that I wrote exclusively for kids to read to their parents, to let parents know how much kids love reading with them. Hey, we want to thank Allexia Brewer for being here today, and of course, we want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today, to help us become a #1 iTunes Kids and Family podcast. And as always, thank you so very much for helping make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. This episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast is brought to you by Jedley's award-winning children's book, The Great Maratini.
A very long time ago, there was a boy named Sam who liked to do his magic tricks, and he was quite the ham. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age, but his greatest feat took place far away from any stage. magic trick Sam tried to do would somehow come out wrong. But Sam just kept on going, and that's what made him strong. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age. But his greatest feat took place far away from any stage. One day as he traveled, he helped a stranger in need. And this was not a trick, oh no, but a magical good deed. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age. But his greatest feat took place far away from any stage. He was called the Great Maratini, the best magician of his age. But his greatest feat took place far away from any stage.
To get your autographed copy of the giant bilingual edition of The Great Maratini, please visit greatmaratini.com.